2023, there were 604 mass shootings in the United States. A total of 754 people were killed and 2,443 others were injured. Such dangerous and complicated situations require the cooperation of multiple emergency services. In Brookhaven, Long Island Community Hospital and South Country Ambulance are leading a mass casualty incident drill that involves over 24 police, fire, and EMS units from across Suffolk County. Teams begin preparations in 3 staging areas: the South Country Ambulance, St. Joseph the Worker Church, and the Long Island Community Hospital. We had a camera team embedded at each location. At South Country Ambulance, first responders get briefed by Chief Greg Miglino.
An active shooter drill and an active shooter scenario is the purview of the police department, and nobody moves. It's just that simple. It's very important that you train. If you don't train, then your first opportunity to do something like this is when there's an actual crisis, and that would be the wrong way to handle stuff. So all the volunteers from fire and EMS, as well as the professionals from the police department, felt it was important enough to dedicate resources and time to make sure that we could come together and make this work. When you have a mass casualty incident, units are going to arrive from all over. So in a county as large as ours, an incident like this, you may receive units from as far away as Huntington, East Hampton, Southold, Riverhead, and then our partners that we work with all the time locally, Shirley, Mastic, Medford, Mastic Beach.
At St. Joseph's the Worker Church, special effects makeup artists from the New York State Division of Homeland Security are moulaging volunteers with fake bullet wounds, cuts, and bruises.
So today we are moulaging the victims to make them look real, so we're creating fake injuries on the victims so that EMS is responding towards a real incident.
So you each have an actor card. We're asking you to pretend to be the patient on the script.
But I have a gunshot wound to the right belly.
I have a gunshot wound to the left thigh. I was shot in the stomach and it went out my back.
At Long Island Community Hospital, dozens of specialists are on high alert. Today's focus is a mass shooting, but it's not the only reason this hospital will see a surge in patients.
So we could get a surge for a lot of different incidents. You know, it could be as simple as a school bus accident on Sunrise Highway. We have the Long Island Railroad that's in our backyard. We have MacArthur Airport. So any of those type of incidents could bring us a surge of patients.
Shots fired! Suffolk County Police enters the crime scene in formation.
Andy Garcia, stay here, keep the vestibule. Sack.
Throughout the church, people are hurt and screaming for help, but the officers cannot provide first aid to the injured. Their goal is to neutralize the shooter.
Blue.
And until that happens, EMS workers must patiently wait outside.
Our plan in South Country is to send in our heavily body armored people first in the event that there's a second shooter that's just hiding in the crowd.
No apparent additional threat.
They clear, then we start bringing in the rest.
You are uninjured. Stand up and walk to the exit.
He's awake. The lady shot in the leg. We don't want you walking on
Here,
that.
help in the front.
Once the building is confirmed safe, every unit goes into action.
Other side of the police car, all the way down. Other side of the police car.
3 triage areas, red, yellow, and green, are set up outside.
If they're green, they're going to be the absolute last people, but they're going to have to sit there because the police are going to need to talk to them. We then can focus on the yellow and the red.
What hospital are you going to?
Before the victims are taken away, coordinators organize where to send them, just in case the local hospital is overwhelmed. A helicopter arrives to airlift the most critical cases to Long Island Community Hospital.
So as soon as this incident started, we got a notification at our charge desk. That starts all of our procedures here. All hands on deck for our staffing. We do a forward triage at Long Island Community Hospital, so we bring all of our supplies outside, register them before they even make it in the door. Our critical patients will go right to the trauma room so that they can get right to the OR if needed. Green patients are our walking wounded, and our yellow patients are our moderately injured patients. They can get in and seen appropriately as well.
Waldo, red tag.
This was not a real emergency, but you couldn't tell by the intensity of the police, firefighters, and EMS workers. They all performed like real lives were at stake. That's because they live on an island with 3 million people next to a city with 8 million people. So the question is not if they'll use these skills. The question is when.